Mount Vernon is now gearing up for an appearance by controversial radio and television host Glenn Beck. The conservative commentator will get the key to the city later tonight in Mount Vernon, but he spoke today in Seattle at Safeco Field. King 5's Chris Daniels is live tonight at the Safe with more on what he had to say. Chris?
Well, Alan, depending on who you talk to, 5,000 to 7,000 people packed into Safeco Field today to listen to the commentator who seems to welcome controversy and even address the Mount Vernon issue during a fiery speech.
I don't want to be controversial at all.
Glenn Beck, Fox News firebrand and talk show titan, took a makeshift center field stage and railed against big government.
You do not know what you're up against, but let me tell you something, neither do they. Their arrogance will be their undoing.
It's that kind of talk which has made the former Washingtonian a pop culture phenomenon and brought thousands of supporters to Safeco Field to hear him speak as opponents gathered outside.
My son is meant to be welcoming. Mr. Beck is not the brightest light on the horizon.
He's a very divisive person.
Andrew Uman is not a fan and wore a shirt to express his feelings about the Beck controversy.
Hate is not a Mount Vernon value. That's really what Glenn Beck is trying to do, is just incite people to hate on other people.
He's not a crazy weirdo. He speaks the truth.
He's not a bigot.
He's not a bigot.
He's not a bigot.
Don and Janice Benson of Ocean Shores say Beck deserves the recognition.
We're happy for him to get the key.
The bombastic Beck even laughed off his hometown dust-up, saying he should have brought rain to water down the heated issue.
But I realized today, as I see all these protesters and everything, I turn on King 5 this morning and I'm seeing story after story of all the protesters, and I think to myself, I've let my grandmother down. It rains here all the time! Good night, thank you, Seattle.
Well, this was a largely conservative crowd on hand at this event that was sponsored by the Evergreen Freedom Foundation. At one point, President Barack Obama and Governor Chris Gregoire were shown on the Safeco Field big screen, and many in the crowd booed at their appearance. Extra police were also on hand at this event, but there were no real problems, and Mr. Beck is now headed north on I-5 to Mount Vernon. Live tonight at the Safe, Chris Daniels, King 5.